Oh, hello there gang, this is Matt from SoulShift. Today I want to discuss something with you about cards. As a tarot reader, people think you only use one deck, and that's the Rider-Waite-Smith deck, which is the one that everybody kind of knows. But in actual fact, tarot readers generally collect cards. We become card collectors. And not only do we use tarot cards, but in my case I use tarot, I use oracle cards, I use adult version of tarot cards, I use normal playing cards, I use Lenormand cards. They're all different types of card decks that we use. And I want to just quickly go through a short little video going through what these different decks look like. So to start off with tarot cards, as you know, you have 78 cards in a deck. And the deck is very specifically divided into certain sections. Tarot cards come in an array of different shapes and sizes. This is a beautiful box set called the Dreams of Gaia. This is a tarot deck. And then you also have they come in even bigger boxes, such as the modern Spellcaster's Tarot. You then get other tarot decks that come with small little white books. Instead of having huge, big, beautiful books like this to read, you get a little tiny white book that comes with the actual tarot box that the cards come with. This is an interesting deck because, and this is my most recent deck, because it is actually only the major arcana, so it's only the really tough, big cards of the deck. And it comes in this incredibly interesting little plastic box because all the cards are holographic. So if I hold them up, I don't know if you can see this, but if I hold them up, they are actually holographic cards. Wonderful, wonderful idea. Because these cards are so difficult to make and they're so intricate, this is only a deck of the major arcana. The 78 card deck hasn't come out yet, the whole full deck. So those are still tarot cards. You can still use them to do a tarot reading, although a deck like this one would probably be a novelty deck. Now, another novelty deck that you can get with tarot is, and there's a whole lot of these, is the adult themed tarot. Now, this is the Decameron deck, which is a very naughty deck, very adult themed deck. And I can't show you all the cards because Facebook won't allow me to post this. YouTube certainly won't allow me to post this. So I'm just going to show you one or two of the less sexy ones, but you can see it's the Decameron, and if you know anything about English literature, you'll know what the Decameron is. If you don't worry, it's just a sexy group of stories. So you can see there's the monk doing his thing, and of course we have a couple of very interesting cards, and I'm actually unable to show you any of these cards online, but you can DM me and I'll send you a couple of pictures. This would also be regarded as a novelty deck. It is, however, a full 78 card deck, and you can do proper tarot readings with this. What would you use this for? I would say any sort of questions about sex and fertility and relationships, anything relating to the more animal instincts in humans. Okay, so anything like that, you could use this and actually work quite well. So tarot decks are very specific. 78 cards in a deck, many different decks, all kinds of things, all kinds of different levels and different kinds of cards and layers to those cards that you can use for many different readings and situations. The other way that I use cards is by using oracle decks. Now, I have a few of my decks here with me. The difference between oracle decks and the tarot decks is that tarot decks, every single tarot deck has got 78 cards in it. Okay. Oracle decks can have any number of cards. They can have 25 cards. They can have 50 cards. They can have as many cards as what the author or the creator actually wants them to have. And we have so many different types. You then have very mixed, I would say, mixed cards. And this is one of the most beautiful, one of my favorite oracle decks ever. And I've spoken about this before at length. This is my Kyle Gray Keepers of the Light Oracle cards with the artwork by Lily Moses. The most beautiful, beautiful deck. Run out and get yourself one, as I've said in my previous videos. Again, nice little booklet. Kyle will show you how to read these cards. But instead of just focusing on one angel, here he has the Keepers of the Light, which are all different kinds of spiritual beings. The Holy Spirit, you have Hope, you have Kalima, all different deities, different avatars. And each one will give you, again, exactly what the meaning of the card is. For instance, this is the Holy Spirit, expect miracles. And then there it actually tells you exactly what the card means. Here we have Isis, all right? Magic manifesting. And there it tells you exactly what the card means. So you don't have to go and do a whole 5-year course on reading oracle cards, because basic oracle cards come in many different forms, but they all have the meaning written on the actual card. So whether you get a Keepers of the Light oracle, or you get an angel oracle, or even a fairy oracle, the fairy oracle. I didn't like the box they came in, so I made them their own box. Again, beautiful cards, beautiful, beautiful. And each card has, for instance, this card is the dragon's pet. And this one again tells you exactly what it means. It says communication between species, animals, pets, magical companions, and guardianship. So that is what that card stands for. Okay, and each one again would have different meanings. For instance, the golden gift. This has magical help is on its way. So anybody can read these oracle cards. You take them, you shuffle them, you lay them down in different positions as you would with tarot card, and you simply read what's on the card. So there isn't really a hell of a lot of mystery or study that is needed with general basic oracle cards. And that is the difference between oracle cards and tarot cards. Is tarot is a system, whereas oracle is not a very structured system. It can be anything. Now I do just want to point out that most of my oracle cards, strange enough, are very light and very whimsical. I would just like to show you these two oracle card decks, because they are very different in that there are no meanings on the cards. And the first one I'd like to show you is the Santa Muerte deck, which has a very few cards, but there's some nice little things hidden within this deck. Again, it comes with a book. And in this case, it's going to be very important for you to read the book, because the book is the only way you're going to know what the cards actually mean. Because all these cards have on them is a picture and a number. And they are all like that. The artwork is incredible, but unless you actually know what that meaning is, unless you spend hours and hours learning what that number means, you're not going to get it at all. And you're not going to be able to work with this deck unless you are intuitive. So that is the one deck. It is a very dark deck. And if you know anything about Santa Muerte, or anything about what that stands for and who that is and who Santa Muerte is, you'll understand how this deck can be quite dark and yet still very helpful. But it's an oracle deck. It can have as many cards in it as it likes. The images are basically, they can be anything. All right. The other deck I wanted to show you is the Angelerium Oracle of Emanations, which is this deck, and this is the last one I'm going to go through quickly with you. Again, this is a deck where you're going to need your wits about you, and you're going to need the little book that it comes with. Because without this, again, unless you have some kind of knowledge of Kabbalah, which is what this deck is very much based on, you're again not going to actually know anything about these cards. And although slightly simpler than the Santa Muerte, because they do have some kind of writing on here, it's still, you're going to need to know what angels you're dealing with. And for instance, this is one of the cards. This is Zedkiel. He's the angel of mercy. Okay, but that's all it tells you. It's just that little piece there. Here we have Uriel, the angel of flame. So there are just literally the different angels and who they are. For instance, this is Tiferet, heart, beauty. Again, very difficult to come up with a proper reading unless you can read these cards A, intuitively, or B, you will then have to refer directly to the booklet. So I hope you found today's video informative and exciting and interesting, and as usual, my name is Matthew, and I will see you on the flip side.